Hi Ned, how are you doing? Very nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's a film, like you say, told from different perspectives. Were you ever hesitant about doing such a project, and did you have a hard time convincing these stars to do that?
I definitely had a hard time getting this thing made. I think I was just crazy enough to try and make it, or delusional, whichever you want to choose. But I think, Jessica was involved and believed in it at a very early stage, and then James came on at a later stage. But, I think the reason that this film got made is because I had just enough people who believed in what we were doing. So it did get made because of that belief and because of that collaboration.
I mean, it's obviously an experimental sort of film and a certain way of making it. Do you think Hollywood shies away from that sort of thing now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's tricky to get films made in general. So I think, we had a hard time getting people behind us, and ultimately we were lucky enough to make it work. But, I think we're in an interesting time for cinema in general. And, I'm hoping that more people get the chances that I got to have with this film.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers.
So your first film has quite an amazing cast,
Yeah.
and so well directed and well acted. Can you tell us a little bit about how they came on board and working with both James and Jessica?
Yeah, so Jessica and I met over 10 years ago. My first short film played at this festival in Los Angeles at this theater on the west side, the Lemley, and there were like 12 people in the audience, and after it played, this girl comes running up to me afterward and says, "Do you direct that film?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Well, I want to work with you." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "My name's Jessica." And that was how I met Jessica, essentially. And she just graduated Juilliard. And we became friends and started, to make things together. So, that was pretty special. And she's been involved with the project for a long time. And then, I came to James much later, but, they were all elemental in getting this film made. So.
And then this film has obviously been to other festivals and then just recently at Cannes. Can you talk a little bit about what it feels like to be here in London with your film?
It's pretty special because I've spent a lot of time here. My brother and his wife live here with their, my nieces, so it's like a second home for me. So, to have spent so much time here and have family here, it's really special for me to be playing, and be here at the London Film Festival.
And I always ask this question, but if you had to recommend a favorite tip or a place to go here in London, what would you say?
I just kind of like walking aimlessly through this city. Like, it's such a great city with so many beautiful pockets, and I sort of just love to walk aimlessly and find a cafe or a restaurant, or so many amazing museums, so many, the theater here is phenomenal. I love going to the National and seeing a show. I love walking on the river. I love just walking through various parts of the city that I haven't yet discovered, so it's just great.
That's it. What's better, New York, London?
I'm from New York, so that's like my hometown, so I can't portray my hometown, but I love them pretty much, and I could easily live in London, so that's my diplomatic answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!